Before the Beatles, before Michael, there was Elvis, the boy from Tupelo, who shook the world with a wiggle and a dream. He didn't just sing songs, he changed culture. He blurred color lines, redefined fame, and turned a southern gospel soul into global rock royalty. This is the journey of a truck driver turned king, of heartbreak, glory, and a sound that never died. Elvis Aaron Presley was born on January 8, 1935, in a tiny two-room house in Tupelo, Mississippi. Raised by working-class parents, Vernon and Gladys' life was far from glamorous. Money was tight, music was free, and young Elvis found his first rhythm in church pews, soaking up gospel hymns that would later shape his sound. By the time the family moved to Memphis in 1948, Elvis was already captivated by blues, country, and the raw pulse of Beale Street. In school, he was quiet, an outsider, but with a guitar in hand and a dream in his eyes, the boy who no one noticed was about to become the one no one could ignore. In 1953, Elvis walked into Sun Records to record a song for his mother. What Sam Phillips heard wasn't just a voice, it was revolution in the making. That's All Right aired on Memphis, RADIO in 1954, and within hours, the phones lit up. A white boy singing black music with a swagger that blurred every line. Teenagers went wild. Parents were scandalized. Elvis wasn't just making music, he was creating cultural shockwaves. By 1956, he had national fame. Chart toppers like Heartbreak Hotel, gold records piling up, and performances so electrifying they had to censor his hips on television. Elvis had arrived, not just as an artist, but as the symbol of a new era, rebellious, raw, and unstoppable. By the late 50s, Elvis was more than music, he was box office gold. With hits like Love Me Tender and Jailhouse Rock, Hollywood came calling, and Elvis answered. He made over 30 films, blending music and charisma with a camera-ready charm. But fame didn't slow duty. In 1958, Elvis was drafted into the U.S. Army. It was a moment that stunned the world. But instead of dodging service, Elvis served with honor stationed in Germany, away from the limelight but never forgotten. His time in the army matured him, and it was in Germany. He met a young Priscilla Presley, a romance that would shape his personal life for years. By the mid-60s, Elvis's star had dimmed. His movies felt dated, his music overshadowed by the British invasion. But in 1968, everything changed. The '68 Comeback Special wasn't just a performance, it was a rebirth, raw, real, and electric. Elvis reminded the world why he was the king. And then came Las Vegas, not the old Elvis, but a new version, rhinestone-studded, fiercely energetic and unapologetically larger than life. He performed 636 sold-out shows at the International Hotel, redefining the modern concert residency. Vegas wasn't just a stage, it became his kingdom. But as the lights burned brighter, so did the shadows behind them. Beyond the spotlight and stadiums, Elvis was also a husband, a father, and a man searching for peace in a world that wouldn't let him rest. He married Priscilla Presley. After years of courtship, their love both fairy tale and fragile. Their union would bring Elvis his greatest joy, a daughter, Lisa Marie. To the world he was a legend, but to Lisa He was just Daddy. Despite the chaos of fame, Elvis cherished his role as a father. But the pressure of fame, the temptations of the industry, and the relentless pace began to take a toll on his marriage. Elvis and Priscilla parted ways not in hatred, but in heartbreak. Still, they remained close, bonded by their shared past and deep love for their daughter. As the spotlight blazed on behind the scenes, Elvis was fighting battles few could see and even fewer understood. The King's once energetic stage presence began to wane. Years of touring, personal loss, and pressure had taken a toll both mentally and physically. Elvis became increasingly reliant on prescription drugs for sleep, for pain, for performance. He was surrounded by people, yet profoundly isolated. Fans still saw the King, but behind that smile was a man deteriorating physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Graceland became both sanctuary and prison. While it was filled with music, friends, and memories, it also echoed with silence and solitude. By 1977, the world was watching with concern and love. Elvis was still performing, but the man who once lit up stages with fire now moved with the weight of a world he no longer controlled. On August 16, 1977, the news broke like thunder. Elvis Presley, dead at just 42, found in his Graceland bathroom. The King's reign came to a sudden and heartbreaking end. His death was officially ruled as a heart attack, but the underlying causes ran deeper: years of physical stress, prescription drug use, and the crushing pressure of fame. Over 80,000 people lined the streets of Memphis for his funeral. The world hadn't just lost a superstar, it had lost a cultural icon, a symbol of rebellion, charisma, and undeniable talent. Elvis was gone, but his legend was just beginning. Elvis Presley didn't just change music, he changed culture. Decades after his death, his voice still echoes across generations. Graceland has become a pilgrimage site, visited by over 600,000 fans annually. It remains the second most visited private residence in America after the White House. Elvis left behind one daughter, Lisa Marie Presley, his only child and heir to his legacy. Through tragedy and triumph, she carried the Presley name into the next era. In 2023, Lisa Marie passed away, adding another heartbreaking chapter to the Presley family saga. Yet the legacy lives on through her children and the timeless music. Though he died with modest finances, Elvis's estate, built on royalties, licensing, and tourism, has soared to over $400 million in value, making him one of the highest-earning deceased celebrities to this day. From pop to punk, hip-hop to country, Elvis's impact remains undeniable. He inspired generations of artists, shattered racial and musical boundaries, and made rock and roll a global language. Elvis Presley wasn't just a king of rock and roll. He was and is a symbol of transformation, tragedy, and timeless greatness.